She came to us on a cold evening, wrapped in a blanket, barely moving. Someone had found her at the side of the highway after a traffic accident, and when I first put my hands on her, I was not sure she would live through the night. She was tiny, and her body temperature was far below where it should have been. One of her back legs was clearly broken, but I could not examine it properly because every touch hurt her. So we did what mattered most in that first hour. We warmed her, we gave her fluids, we did our emergency intervention. No detailed images, no planning ahead. My only goal that night was to keep her alive. We carried her into intensive care, and I remember standing there telling her to hold on. The next morning, she was still with us. That alone felt like a victory. We finally took her X-ray images, and while we waited, my team asked me what we should call her. We named her Hayat, which means life, because that was exactly what we were hoping for. Then the pictures came back, and the situation was worse than I expected. Her leg was not broken in one place. It was broken in two. I had felt one fracture during the first check, and I stopped there because she was in so much pain. The second one was a surprise, and not a good one. There was good news in those images too. There was no hernia in her diaphragm, which is very common after this kind of accident. Her spine looked healthy. Her front legs looked healthy. So I let myself hope a little. She needed surgery. 2 fractures, 2 pins, that was the plan. But she was far too small and far too weak. In that condition, she would not survive the anesthesia. So we had to wait. And waiting was the hardest part, because I knew those fractures hurt her with every movement she made. We kept her warm around the clock and gave her oxygen support. We ran fluids twice a day and continued her medicines. The infection in her eye slowly began to clear. And then, day by day, she came back to us. She was conscious. She was loud. Her eyes opened fully, and they were beautiful. Eyes we almost never got to see. She wanted food. We were still feeding her with a syringe, but that appetite told me more than any test result could. She was so active that it worried me. A kitten with 2 broken bones should not be trying to run around her cage. Every time she moved, I held my breath. Finally, her general condition was good enough. My team completed the last preparations, and we took her into surgery. We placed 2 pins in the broken bone. She woke up from the anesthesia calmly, with no problems at all. We wrapped the leg to keep everything fixed in place, because I already knew this little troublemaker was not going to lie still. I was right about that. On the 4th day after surgery, we had to change her dressing early because she had eaten her own bandage. I told her that she could not run on a broken leg. She looked at me like she had no idea what I was talking about. Something else changed around that time. She stopped needing the syringe. She started eating on her own, and once she started, she did not stop. She still ignored the plate, so we fed her 1-to-1, 6 or 7 times a day, and she attacked every meal like she had never eaten before. I want you to understand what that felt like. This was a kitten who arrived unconscious and half dead. Now she was running. Her follow-up images looked good. The bone was doing exactly what we wanted it to do. A month after she arrived, we did her final examination. Her leg had healed almost completely. She could walk, she could run, she could jump, and she proved it by leaping off something far too high while I watched with my heart in my throat. We weighed her, 700 grams. We hid a parasite tablet in her food, and I told her that once she gained another ½ kilogram, we could start her vaccinations. Then we did the thing we had all been waiting for. We took her outside. She had lived indoors for a month, through pain and needles and bandages. Now there was grass under her feet, and at first she had no idea what to make of it. A little frightened, a little confused. And then she was gone, running across the garden, stopping only to lie in the sun. The next day, Hayat went home with her adoptive family. She came to us from the side of a highway with a broken body and almost nothing left. She left us running. And that is the whole reason I do this work.